What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn. Get this, Eddie Hearn on Conor Benn. He said he's got a big fight on his hands. Eddie Hearn says Conor Benn has a big fight on his hands and needing to clear his name after his positive test for clomiphene, causing his lucrative fight with Chris Eubank Jr. to fall through last weekend. Hearn's language of saying that Benn has a fight on his hands suggests to some that the Matchroom boxing promoter is distancing himself from the situation to be sure Conor could be banned for 4 years. Additionally, there's a huge backlash over the positive test Benn and Hearn has been getting dumped on almost as much as him because he had wanted to try to keep the Eubank Benn fight on for last Saturday, despite the VADA findings. He said, obviously, he's got a big fight on his hands, said Eddie Hearn to Matchroom Boxing about Conor Benn's situation with him testing positive for clomiphene. There's a lot of information we know about the testing that will come to light. Everyone is very quick to make their assumptions, as always in their situation. We've seen it before with Dillian Whyte. I didn't see many people apologizing when Dillian Whyte was cleared of all charges and was completely innocent in that situation. Conor Benn will have the right to clear his name. People should let him do that. I've seen the criticism, but I also understand that this wasn't something that was kept from anybody. It was discussed between all parties in the fight, from the fighters, the promoters, and the commission. We have to let the commission do their job, which ultimately they did. It wasn't a case of the story that stopped the fight. The commission had made their decision before any story came out in the media, and we had to go through that process. As I said, once you find out the information about the testing, it was a difficult situation because people were comfortable with the scientific facts around that. We wanted Conor Benn to have his opportunity, as many before, to be heard. That will happen post-fight, and obviously the fight not taking place. He said, let him have that time. Let him have that moment. He has to go out, and it's obviously a very important time for him now because some people have made their minds up as they've done before. Let the facts come out and make a decision, said Hearn. Okay, and this was published yesterday, okay? And obviously, this doesn't reflect the second drug testing. And for Eddie Hearn saying he has a big fight to make, that means he has a lot of explaining to do. And it does seem kind of like Eddie Hearn is kind of like, hey, that's his thing. I don't know the facts, but he's going to have the opportunity, so give him the opportunity. And he used Dillian Whyte for an example, with the B sample that Dillian Whyte provided, that cleared him of the first sample. But of course, there was adverse findings or whatnot in that stopped everything. But to make things very clear, Eddie Hearn said something that I have to counterpunch. He said, also understand that this wasn't something that was kept from anybody. Well, it was kept from the public. Okay, we didn't know about it until 3 weeks later. And see, when public opinion comes along and gets into the middle of things, it changes the whole concept. See, obviously, at some point, they had to tell the public. But when the public is known, the public is also aware of what went on. If they tried to keep that shit in-house, like, well, hey, the managers knew, the Eubanks knew, all these people knew except the people that were watching it, okay? And it still has a big circle around it, like, well, he knew, well, why are you keeping that a secret? And Eddie's saying it's not a secret, but it was. No one else had access to this information. Someone had just got popped for a dirty test, but then you wanted to keep it under wraps for what reason, we don't know. And on top of that, though, you know what makes it so bad, or what happened just yesterday, that they've been checking Conor Benn and he failed another test. So again, someone had to know something before, and before they could let it out, some type of conversation took place. I don't know what type of conversation that was, but it was probably something that stopped a particular documentation of the drug test come out. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn saying that Conor Benn has a big fight on his hands. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!